Well, the people that are accepting plea deals, are they going to be testifying against him?
Don't know. So some of those pleas have been entered, and some of those sentencings are going to happen still. And so at the sentencing, you would know. And so I think the first sentencing is scheduled. Sometimes the government might move to seal it, and they might do that stuff behind closed doors, so you don't know who's going to testify against you necessarily until you move for asking for more. And then the short answer, Vlad, is we just don't know, and that is the $1 million question that his lawyers are going to be looking to answer.
Yeah, and when you talk about him getting out on bond, we actually had the audio of that, and in the audio they actually played an interview that he did with Nick Cannon, where he said, "Oh yeah, I'm not really, I'm not associated with any criminal activities, but yeah, I'm still ape." And they actually used that little piece to actually get the judge not to give him a bond. They didn't play the whole thing where he explained like, "No, I'm not involved in any of that stuff, but I'm still like, ape, meaning that like whatever, these are my homies." But I mean, it's sad that they would use something like that, like one phrase out of a bigger conversation, to keep him in prison right now or in jail right now. And yeah, I mean, it sucks because we all have friends that, are involved in various things, when you're not around them. I've got criminal friends, I've always had them. But to be caught up into what someone else is doing, especially when you're doing so well, I think is sad. And I've interviewed Casanova before. I like him personally. I hope he walks away from this because based on who he is and what he represents, I don't think cooperation is really an option for him. I don't think he's going to testify against his friends in order to walk away himself. At least I don't think so. I mean, we'll see what ultimately happens. But if I were to bet on this, I would say that he will keep his mouth shut, and that might really hurt him at the end.
Yeah, Casanova seems to me like a guy who went in a gang member, and he came out wanting to disassociate himself from all that stuff. And he came out a guy who was walking the right path. I have not seen any evidence that he did anything wrong. The fact that he maintained some of his old networks, the fact that he maintained some of his old relationships, the fact that he's got some money right now and people who he used to know who are hard up for money and he might help them out, that's what's being used against him in a way that's just crazy. Like, all right, maybe you bring somebody in and you say, look, we as society, we don't want you associating with this. There's penalties, and we send a signal. But like the rap that he's facing, basically talking about taking away his whole life, it's just a huge disconnect between the criminal justice system and the people that it acts upon. One of the key principles in the law is clarity, transparency, consistency. And that the idea that if we subject people to laws, we should strive to have laws that are clear to people. We should apply laws in a transparent and a consistent manner to people. And I think if you look at these cases, these guys, they have no idea the way these laws are being applied against them. And it's not fair. Fundamentally, it's just not fair.